So you're at the gym, feeling great and looking great too, I might add. That is until your favorite podcast ends. Now, without your headphones, you're suddenly lost in the wilds of Meatland. Don't get lost in the wilds of Meatland. Get the AAA Podcast extra content. We'll help you gain some fun times with our hobby addicts, after parties, and hentai episodes. Nothing gets your blood pumping quite like hentai, and nothing helps the podcast quite like your support. So head over to AAApodcast.com/join or Patreon to support the show. Again, that's AAApodcast.com/join or Patreon. Bro, sounds like you need a spot from the AAA podcast.
Get ready! You're about to listen to the Anime Addicts Anonymous podcast. Make your anime addiction worse at AAApodcast.com. And now, here are your anime addicts.
Hello and welcome to the 617th episode of the AAA podcast. My name is Caroline. I'm here with Mason. I'm here with Mitsugi. How is everybody doing?
I'm doing fantastic.
He's vibing.
Yeah,
Love to see it.
I went downstairs and made myself a hot coffee today from my coffee bar. But fear not, I also have a purple monster. So today we are highly caffeinated. I'm going to 1,000 milligrams today. Let's fucking do it. I'll die on camera. You'll get to see it. It'll be a good time. I love you all. Thanks for listening.
Let's go.
I don't know how it is in Colorado today, Mitsugi, but here in the East Coast, it's actually quite nice today. Like mid-60s. It's beautiful.
Well, it won't be beautiful for long, Caroline, because let me tell you, it's snowing quite hard outside. So
stop trying to burst bubbles here.
But it is beautiful.
Let us be happy.
Listen, it's beautiful though. Nothing beats podcasting with your buddies with a hot cup of coffee while you watch the snowfall. It is a magical thing.
In March.
Well, we get most of our snow in April here. Last year we had 100 inches
What?
in April.
Really?
Yep.
That's crazy. Just weird weather there.
Better than when it's really nice outside and it's stopping you from playing Elden Ring.
Well, that's true.
Because you feel obligated to be outside. But even worse than that is when you're podcasting and you're like, man, it's real nice outside. I could be playing Elden Ring right now. So let's get the show going. I got Elden Ring to play.
Yeah, everything's getting in the way of your Elden Ring. The nice weather, the podcast, having to watch Takt.op.Destiny.
I know. Just an amalgamation of everything coming down on me. Miyazaki is pouring one out for me.
Well, let's talk about where you can find us. Of course, if you're listening live, we're on Twitch, live every Sunday at 5 p.m. EST. You can find us at twitch.tv/AAA podcast. You can also find us on Twitter, on Facebook, on TikTok when I post, because I'm kind of having a creative dry spot, so there hasn't been much recently, but I will get back to that. And of course, we are on our Discord, which is where that's the place to be, to get into all the conversations. And not only that, but also great food conversations, all the great just random general life stuff conversations. It's a great place to be. What's that?
It's a squirt gun.
Why do you have that? You're getting your equipment wet.
Everything's already wet.
I'm training my cat. I'm training my new cat to not claw the furniture, so it's working.
Nice. Okay.
We also have more Does Mitsugi's Mom Know coming because oh shit.
Hello.
Because I recorded more questions. She was in town and I tormented her with a whole round of questions, and she's always very concerned about whether or not she knows the answers. So it's very cute. But we will
even though they're like, the whole point of that game is the fact that she can give any answer at all, and it does not matter.
Whatever answer she gives is the right answer. It might not be correct, but it's right.
It's the answer that people have to guess. It's the correct
Exactly.
answer.
She tries her best. That's all that really matters. So
So,
So
you think
you
we're going to
might
get some
say-
in the next few weeks?
probably next week. You could get some next
Ooh.
week if you want. So just letting you know
and
it's
if
coming.
people wanted to join and participate, they might want to go to the Discord and say, "Hey, let me know. Put on the roll. Let me get in, and you can test your luck for fabulous prizes."
That's right.
Yes,
And
we're always
glory.
looking for people to get involved here. So, yeah, best place to do that is our Discord. But let's talk about what we have coming up in this show. Last week, we had our anime Oscars. That was a grand show that we were so glad people participated in. But this week, we decided that that was enough positivity. We want no more of that. We are switching gears, and we're going to have our 2021 anime Razzies, as suggested by one of our Discorders, Raggedy Doctor. So thank you very much to him for bringing this up.
Burn it down,
Indeed.
baby. Burn it down.
But also on the way, we have Living Big in Japan. That's coming back for this episode to talk about another topic about what it's like to live in Japan, basically. We also have, of course, mailbags and our review of the aforementioned takt.op Destiny.
It's a masterpiece. It's a
Absolutely.
maestro piece.
It's
Oh
it's
my
a
jeez.
magnum
You
opus
love
right
it, didn't
there.
you? You loved that? You loved it, didn't you? There's more where that came
first.
from, baby. All right.
But first, big news of the week time.
おー、大ニュースです。It's time for big news of the week.
Crunchyroll and Funimation announced on Tuesday that these two streaming platforms, along with Wakanim, I don't know how to say that, and Crunchyroll's Verve service, have all merged under the Crunchyroll brand. You'll recall that Sony actually owns all of these things. They bought a 95% stake in Funimation in 2017 for $143 million, and they bought, as of the middle of last year, 2021, they bought a $1.2 billion. They acquired Crunchyroll from AT&T for $1.2 billion. So they pretty much own all this. The CEO of Crunchyroll said, quote, "Unifying all of our brands and services under the Crunchyroll brand globally enables us to offer more value than ever before as we combine subscriptions, subs, dubs, simulcasts, our library, music, movies, manga, all into one subscription. The new Crunchyroll is the realization of a dream. We are grateful to the creators of anime and the millions of fans who have joined us in making the community what it is today." I was getting
Is
people.
this a good thing?
It's very good. People were
Okay.
messaging me on Discord, and they were all worried about it, like, "Oh, what's gonna happen? What's gonna happen?" You know, Mason, why don't you tell us what is gonna happen to the anime on Funimation?
So all the anime on Funimation and Wakanim's anime library, they're gonna still be there, I think, but all the content that isn't currently airing there is moving to Crunchyroll, and starting with the spring 2022 season, all the new licensed series will be streaming on Crunchyroll. So Funimation, you can only go there to stream what they've already had in the continuing series kind of thing. So stuff that's already airing that they have, they'll keep that up through the next preceding stuff. And there's a whole list that you can find where Crunchyroll lists all this titles that I just smacked my mic, heading over to their services. The subs, the dubs, it's all going over there. So as of March 1st, 1,600 hours of new anime content, which is about 50 shows, have been added, and more will come out in April 1st. Hopefully it's not an April Fool's joke, but I'm sure that's just how they're rolling it out progressively, because it's probably a massive overhaul and maintenance and storage, and there's probably a lot behind the scenes. I know they talked about how like the Funimation and Crunchy accounts are going to remain separate, so stuff you're watching on Funimation with your queue or your digital copy or watch history aren't going to merge as of now. They're working on it, they say, but they won't talk to one another in any way like that. So all the big shows are going to be on Crunchyroll as we kind of predicted, and go to the website to find more, because we don't want to sit here for 2 hours listing thousands of shows and be like, you can watch this here. You know how to do it. You can find it.
I remember a couple years ago, Funimation and Crunchyroll used to kind of have like a partnership, right? Where a lot of the shows would be on each other's streaming platforms. And then that partnership dissolved, and a lot of the Funimation shows went from Crunchyroll back to its original site.
Yeah.
So I guess this kind of turns back time a little bit on that.
It's you were asking if this was a good thing, Caroline, and it really is. You know, I've said before, people like me cut cable because they're like, well, I don't want to spend $170 or whatever people pay for cable. Like, I've seen some cable bills that are just ridiculous, so it's stupid. But you know, anime is so fragmented. There's Hulu, Netflix, Retro Crush, Funimation, Crunchyroll, High Dive, Amazon. It's like 7 services. It's ridiculous. But now all these services are being combined under Crunchyroll, but the subscription cost is staying the same for Crunchyroll. You're going to get
for
all
now, at least.
Well, for now, I mean, yeah. I mean, with a 10% inflation rate, prices are going to go up for everything, including subscriptions. But for $8 a month, you can get Crunchyroll and now all the Funimation stuff as well. So yeah, effectively, as as Captain Avatar on our Twitch said, they can now dump Funimation. Now, that's up to the individual person, but supposedly you should be able to get rid of Funimation and just have Crunchyroll and get all the same stuff. So. And I think it's great. Like, who wants to pay 9 subscription services to watch all this anime? Now you only have to pay 8.
Yeah, I just keep on thinking there's some sort of catch, but that remains to be seen.
I mean, it really should be a good thing.
There's a monopoly, and there's less of an incentive to fix their just cruddy UI and app and all that stuff. But
that's true.
But they've always been about the shows they have more than about having a great player. So. It's, I don't know. I don't mind it, but I just want it to work better, please. Thank you.
You're not lying. It is true that the UI for these things, that they all seem to be pretty bad. Personally, I think the only UI that's good on streaming is Netflix. I think all of them are bad. That's me, but ultimately, I think this is a good thing. And having all of these services combined, I think it gives Crunchyroll more clout to be able to command better things for fans. They should be able to get more licenses from anime. Having Sony support helps to fund those things. They have more money than they've ever had, and so really I think it's a good thing, And now personally I'm just going to end up with Crunchyroll and Netflix because I think that's pretty much all that I'm going to need. So that's about it. I mean. The accounts for Funimation and Crunchyroll are separate for now, so it looks like you might not want to terminate your services now, but later on it'll be merged. The one thing that I'm curious about, because Funimation's always like doing dubs, or that's like how they made their mark. Is this going to open up Funimation to a broader scope of things that they can dub? Like, for example, a show that was on Crunchyroll but not on Funimation maybe never got dubbed because Funimation didn't have the licensing. Well, now in theory, all these shows that are on Crunchyroll that never got dubbed, maybe now they're open up to having a dub done for them. What do you guys think? This is just speculation, of course.
I mean, are they bringing over Funimation staff? If they're all just being merged into one parent company, I would think so. Yeah, that's a possibility, but is it likely that they're going to go back in time to do so? I'm not so sure.
They might be a little bit busy still with more recent and exciting projects than going back in time, unless it's for like a really good project that they'd be able to do. Maybe.
That's what I'm hoping for, because watching things dubbed makes the viewing experience easier. People can watch, God forbid at work. You can watch late at night while you're dozing, while you're, not wanting to be reading. Like, if you're reading subtitles in the dark in your room, you're done. Like, if you're like me, they say reading books, you'll fall asleep. And if you're me, it's like you're out like a light within 2 pages. And reading subtitles.
You're elderly, Mitsugi.
I'm pretty old. But reading subtitles is the same way. You're reading, and I'm just gonna fall asleep. So, anyway, that's about it, people. I really think this is a good thing. I don't think anybody should worry about it. So, it also.
If Mitsugi says so, we should all be at ease.
Well, if you think about it, you were getting screwed before because Sony owned Funimation and Crunchyroll, and you were paying 2 subscription services. So you're basically paying Sony twice, which makes no sense at all. And now you're only gonna have to pay Sony once, which is which is really what y'all should have done all along. So I really think it's a good thing. Anyway, I have nothing else for big news. Caroline, what do you have?
All right, well, more good news. Studio Ghibli Fest is back this year. So this spring, they are kicking off with the 25th anniversary screenings of Princess Mononoke. So that's pretty exciting.
That's pretty cool.
That'll be airing on April 3rd, 4th, and 6th. They also have Ponyo on May 15th, 16th, and 18th. They have The Cat Returns in its 20th anniversary edition, June 26th and 27th. Kiki's Delivery Service will be on July 31st, August 1st, and 3rd. Only Yesterday, it will be on August 28th and 29th, and that is its first ever nationwide theatrical release in North America, so that's also a pretty good milestone for them. Howl's Moving Castle will be on September 25th, 26th, and 28th, and Spirited Away will be October 30th and November 1st and 2nd. So, of course, with these different dates that they'll be in theaters, they'll be in both the original Japanese and English dub versions, and they will also include exclusive bonus content. So you can also get your tickets now, I believe, from fathomevents.com, ghiblifest.com, or at participating theater box offices. So always good to get your planner out and make sure that you're available for those days if you really want to go see a Ghibli movie in theaters.
Mason, am I accurate in saying that I feel like Only Yesterday is a real Mason movie? Am I right?
Yeah, I guess so. I forgot where I put it on our best of list, but I definitely think it's underappreciated. And if you're saying it's a little slow and heady, then yeah, I would say it's a Mason core movie.
It wasn't my favorite, but if I feel like this is a movie that a lot of people probably have not seen, let alone in theaters. Definitely something to put on your list. But
Yeah.
I don't think I've seen any Ghibli stuff in theaters, and I would love to go see Princess Mononoke. I have to see if I'm available for that.
Oh, shit, he's going to buy him right now.
$13.25 for Mononoke. That's not bad.
So I think I've
What's it?
seen...
$13.25, at least at the first theater that popped up near me. But I know sometimes these exclusive premium events can sometimes run you a bit more. I felt like I paid more for Demon Slayer.
Yeah, I think you probably did. Yeah. I really wish Nausicaa was coming. That's what I would... I'm not sure I'll go see any of these. I've seen Princess Mononoke in theaters. I've seen Ponyo in theaters. I've seen Kiki and Howl's and Spirited Away in theaters. So the only ones of these that I haven't seen are Cat Returns. It's, I don't know. I've seen it a bunch of times on DVD, and Only Yesterday we just said was never in theaters before. So... But oh man, Nausicaa's
$12.50 straight through AMC. That's cheaper.
Do it, man. Go to a dinner theater. Find a dinner theater and watch it while you get a burger and a milkshake. That's the fucking move.
How old is Nausicaa?
Old, very old.
Yeah, but if we're looking for a milestone, then that would probably be the time that Ghibli would put it back in theaters.
Nausicaa is so old that it's not a Ghibli film, technically.
What,
1984. So maybe in a couple years.
30-something years.
Yeah, it's almost 30 years old. Yeah, well, all right, I guess I gotta wait 2 years. So.
Oh wait, no, that would be the
40 years.
That's 30. Wait a minute. No, that would be 40th anniversary. My goodness, that's crazy.
I can wait for it if I have to. So.
A side tangent. On the Hobby Addict episode, I talked about going to a headphone convention. After one of the days, we stopped at a book off or Kinokuniya, and the guy I was with bought a Princess Mononoke watercolor impressions book, which was a bunch of images and drawings by Miyazaki, as well as comments about Miyazaki about said drawings. And I'd say 8 out of every 10 was I hate this image, this is terrible, I don't know why I did it, I don't remember it, this was a waste of time, and it's so ugly.
This was a literal waste of paper.
Hundreds of pages of Miyazaki comments just complaining about how crap he is. God. And every once in a while he's like, this one's not too bad. It was amazing. You could tell everything about that man from this book, and I highly recommend checking it out. It's Nausicaa watercolor impressions. It was a very funny time looking through it. So there you go.
Miyazaki can create something. He can create something that he thinks should be burned in a fire and never be seen again. And people will probably spend hundreds of dollars to get that. It's honestly crazy.
I still, yeah. Yeah, it doesn't shock me. And I'm being called out on Twitch for not being able to do math. It's true.
To be fair, I could not either. I also said 30 years instead of 40.
I do math all day at work. So why should I have to do math while I'm podcasting? So, fuck that. That's bullshit. I can't be held to doing basic subtraction. Come on.
In this economy, no.
Fuck no. Come on, I'm not being paid enough for that. You want me to do math while I'm podcasting? Pff, get out of here with that shit.
You know what I do want you to do, Mitz?
What's that?
Is tell me what you didn't like from last year in this next topic.
It stinks.
That's very true. What are we doing, Caroline?
We are doing the anime Razzies. Now, we did not necessarily plan this out ahead to do this right after the Oscars of last week. It was just a suggestion from one of our listeners called Raggedy Doctor, and we thought to ourselves, hey, that would be appropriate to do right after our Oscars episode. So we decided, you know what, let's do it. Now, if you are unfamiliar with the Razzies, in the words of Raggedy Doctor, every year we celebrate the best that anime has to offer, but we should also get some catharsis from roasting the worst anime has to offer.
Yeah, but I already ate this shit burger.
They also included a lot of some bad categories, but the ones that we will be covering today is worst boy, worst girl, biggest disappointment, perviest character, blandest protagonist, most likely to make Mitsuki fall asleep in bed watching, and most likely to make you give up on anime forever. So we got some interesting categories today.
Wow.
Yeah, so we're doing it all
Roast
from the
these
year of
motherfuckers.
2021.
Roast them.
I have a feeling that a lot of people can probably guess the shows that I'll be representing today, because I definitely don't keep it a secret when I dislike a show.
Caroline
is
doesn't hold
going
back.
to be very fun.
She's like, you're
I feel bad in retrospect because I can understand how that might be annoying to listen to for a lot of people, but I'm sorry, I can't help myself.
It's okay. I just, we're gonna make it fun, and we all have them all blacked out here on the document, so I can't see who you picked. I have some predictions, of course. So I'm just gonna go first. Worst boy. I think we can all agree the worst boy, as I'm gonna reveal it here, is definitely Kiyomizu Minato from Remain. He is a pile of shit. That kid. Listen. I understand.
He's a pile of shit.
He is. I understand that Minato had a tough run of it. He's like. He was like on top of the world, then he got in a car accident, and he fucking had amnesia, and he forgot how to play water polo, and lost all his friends, and but apparently he was a dirtbag before he got hurt. So I don't know.
It took amnesia for him to become a decent human being.
No, he was never decent. He's definitely a person that only his mother can love. I'll just say that.
And I don't even know how that's even possible.
Yeah, he is terrible, and he's really the reason why that anime failed. Really, I feel like it should have been about the goalkeeper.
That's the only reason.
Well, it's a big part of it. You want to hear? You want to see this emo kid whining for the whole show?
I'm not saying I do. I'm just saying that there were a lot of other bad things about Remain other than the main character, even though that is a big ass part of it.
he goes from being like this, I have amnesia, sympathetic sort of character, and you think, he's gonna learn how to like play water polo again and find his way, and then he gets his memories back, and he's just he's 10 times worse than he was to begin with. Says the most unbelievably hateful things. It's unbelievable, terrible. Get out of here. See you in hell, Minato.
All right, let's see Mason's nomination.
Mason's pretty scummy. I think I had to one-up him with the guy so scummy.
Come on,
I
no
didn't
way.
even watch the entire show. We have the main character from Redo of Healer, Kiaru.
Man.
Oh my god. Well, I can't. I've never seen it, so I can't comment.
It's a different kind of like cartoonishly evil in just the ways that he tries to get vengeance, and in such a sadistic way. Like, he is just a certified thoroughbred scumbag. You have like your
criminal,
your Rudies of the world, who are like very despicable and distasteful, but have like shreds of decency and moments of sympathy and the ability to empathize with people, Hikaru is just, from what I've seen of the show, just an absolute dingleberry on society. And if he was gone, everyone would be better for it.
It's a terrible name too. Kiyaru? What the fuck name is that?
It's like maybe someone said Keanu Reeves, and they just kind
Keanu
of
Reeves.
misheard it.
Keanu Reeves.
Jesus.
Exactly.
All right.
Yeah,
Keanu is a million times better.
I
Yeah,
mean,
I mean-
kind of. Like on this level of scale, at least Minato had a moment where he's like, "Oh, maybe if I lose my memories again and revert back to being an absolute asswipe, I'll record a video to convince
Asswipe.
myself to be not a loser." So he's not
Oh my
all
God.
bad.
I'm channeling
I
like
mean-
channeling memories of Beavis and Butthead with that comment. He's such a Beavis and Butthead comment. Asswipe. It's funny.
Shall
Oh boy.
we look at
Pretty
my
bad.
nomination?
Yeah, what'd you have on there?
Worst boy is.
Come on.
1 second. My computer's being slow. I'm
listen,
trying.
you got to go pretty low to be worse than the guy from Redo of Healer. I mean, that's a show that like barely got on streaming. Was it even on streaming services? Because it was so objectionable.
I thought it was on High Dive.
His like revenge his method of revenge is like sexually assaulting the female characters in the show. Guys,
Yeah.
that guy is like literally a sociopath.
I am now ready. Okay, my worst boy nomination
Come on.
is also Minato.
Oh
from
my
Remain.
god, yeah. God, he
But
is-
here's the thing.
yeah.
I feel like with the worst boy and worst girl category, I always have a feeling it's probably the people that some people will say, "Oh my god, best boy." You cannot say best boy when it's Redo of Healer. But it's actually the worst, like the worst boy, because then Kiaru is basically a villain. So I mean, I don't know. I've never seen it, but
Yeah, I mean, I didn't see it, you know. So
yeah.
Yeah.
There were people that kept trying to get me to watch it, but you know, I'm already watching so much stuff all the time that I didn't really need to, watch something that wasn't going to be for the podcast. Particularly when the only reason to watch it is because he sexually assaults people or whatever. I don't fucking know. Stupid.
Yeah, it's just tasteless.
A waste of time.
Well,
Okay,
I mean,
all
I
right.
guess we'll just have to. I feel like we had two different levels of bad
Yeah.
over there.
We all
so-
came at this in different ways, and I think our next category we will approach differently as well. So I'm
Maybe.
curious.
Yeah. All right.
And
worst
listeners,
girl.
all right, so my
put
worst
your
girl.
comments in the Discord or in Twitch chat so we can see what we forgot to think about because we had maybe
Oh, yeah.
an hour to plan this.
We'll probably end up face palming a million times with some of the suggestions people will
Yeah.
have.
Oh, we forgot XYZ. How could we?
Yeah.
So,
So your worst girl.
yeah, my worst girl. You know, this is all up to interpretation, of course, because I don't know. I feel like most of the really dirty characters in anime are dudes, but I hated this character, so I picked Irudu from Maid Dragon S because her only role in that show was to be like a Lolita sex fantasy with just God, like breasts that are impossibly big. Like no one could have breasts that big. And then when you find out she's like 15 or whatever she was, it's just gross. And honestly, if the anime if the anime was like to my liking, I would look past it because it's anime and it's been perverse and whatever for the fucking 30 years. But I don't know. Maid Dragon S to me is just wasn't really to my taste. So to have to like sit through that plus all these like Lolita giant tit characters that are just moe blobs, too much. So Irudu from Maid Dragon S did not like her.
Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see that by the way that like her purpose in the show makes her, ugh.
Yeah.
I mean, I thought that her personality of what was there was pretty okay.
Psh, all right.
But yeah.
All right. All right. What else you guys got? Oh my God! It's such a good pick.
I went with a very different pick for Worst Girl, a character who has an important role, and as a character, isn't the worst, but she also is the worst because I picked Gabby Braun from Attack on Titan.
She was
final
awful.
season. She was, Attack on Titan, no spoilers. That's a lot about, we see both sides of the war. we can sympathize with where each side is coming from, how their upbringing affected their decisions, and see how they clash and see them going head to head is exciting. She is just frustrating to such an obtuse manner, and some of the actions and their consequences made me real sad, and therefore
Yeah.
I don't like her because she is not nice.
Yeah, I hate her too, but I also find her so interesting because
Agreed.
it's definitely a character that we don't consider, like a character type that we don't consider, but it does exist in real life. Like when you are part of a society that is ostracized to the degree that they are, there are people that grown up in that society will end up hating themselves for it and basically trying to follow their reign in order to fix things. And yeah, it's a very complicated character, but she's a bitch. Oh my god.
Oh my
Yeah.
god, I hate
So,
her.
good character. I mean, I'm not gonna say I'm glad she was included in the show, but it's not like that. Oh, what was the goddess demon lord, or not demon lord, demon from oh my goodness, the Jobless Reincarnation.
Oh yeah.
Like she didn't seem to fit any other character in that show. Like it's not like Gabby's like that where she just like sticks out like a sore thumb. Like she fits the show, she's good, but yeah, she's bad. I
Oh
think.
my
Yeah.
god, I hate her. Yeah,
What do you
she's
got,
just
Caroline? Sorry, go ahead, Mitch.
What were you gonna say?
no. I want to hear.
I want to hear
Caroline's
Gabby
stuff.
hate. Let's
Oh,
do
I mean,
Gabby
Gabby was just like this whiny, like, she hurts your heart by, doing things that make you sad. I'm trying to avoid spoilers.
Yeah.
And then she was insufferable before that because she's just like this brash, annoying, loudmouth character who
Aaron.
and then after
Female Aaron.
and then after she does the thing that makes people sad, she's just as fucking horrible when she's walking around, in the Titan land or whatever. And and it's just like I don't know. She's basically the embodiment of like a military character, but she's like this little girl who wouldn't be able to do jack shit in reality ever to anybody. And it's just frustrating. And I don't know. Anyway,
Unless she had a gun.
Oh, please. That little girl barely fired that gun. Who you got, Caroline?
Well, she did.
She's like
And
12.
Consequences.
She's fucking 12.
A 12-year-old can pull the trigger of a gun.
Yeah, well, can a 12-year-old climb up a rope that's hanging from a dirigible or whatever the fuck she
If
did?
they are a child soldier, as
Yeah.
she is, perhaps.
Caroline.
But anywho.
No fucking way. All right.
My worst girl nomination is...
Don't you even picky doo-doo again.
Oh, no, of course not. Frill from Wonder Egg
Oh,
Priority.
I don't even remember this
And
bitch.
if you don't remember, she is the fake human that the two kind of robot guys. What is their names? I can't remember their
It
names.
was like Akka
Yes.
and
Red.
Were they both Akka?
No.
I think they were called like the Akkas. I know
Yeah,
one was called Akka. I don't remember what the other one was called.
Yeah, both of them created Frill, like an artificial girl, and she's basically the one that, well, I guess spoilers, but she's kind of like behind all the badness that happens in Wonder Egg Priority. But even so, she is just, I remember her being just so annoying and so awful, and she, I think, kills multiple people by her own hand, or at least one, or at least tries to, with a toaster in a bathtub, if I remember correctly. I can't remember though. So yeah, I think everybody did not like Frill for multiple reasons in Wonder Egg Priority.
I think it was half the fact that her as a character was super shoehorned and bad, and like brought about the like worst part about that show,
Yeah.
as well as the fact that she has no empathy, committed a bunch of crimes, like is super like envious and calculating and resentful, and just a bad, I'd say human, but she's not really a human, so yeah, she's just bad. She's bad. I agree. That's a good pick. I like it.
Yeah, I had to think for a second for this one, and then I remembered Frill, and I'm like, well, she fits this category to a T.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Let's see what else we got here.
So proof that good shows can win Razzies too.
What, Wonder Egg? Oh, yeah, AOT. Yeah, that makes sense.
All right. Biggest disappointment. Now, for me, this is a whole anime. It's not really a character.
Yeah, that's how I perceived it.
And for me, my biggest disappointment was Godzilla, singular point.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm a huge Godzilla fan. I know the theme song by heart to the Hanna-Barbera cartoon. I sing the whole fucking thing.
Give
With
us a little taste, Mitsuki.
Oh, yeah. Up from the depths, 30 stories high, breathing fire, his head in the sky, Godzilla. And
Wait,
Godzuki.
there we go. It's the Engadzuki that I always look forward to.
Yeah. So, yeah, I've watched every episode of that 14 times when I was a little kid. I've seen most of the movies. Listen, I grew up with a guy who was a super good friend of mine. He always had, like, all the, like, 14-inch tall plastic Godzilla figures that barely had any moving pieces because this is, the early 90s and we didn't have, cool shit. And Godzilla Singular Point was just, first of all, Godzilla was barely in that show, and that was fucking bullshit. And the show was impossible to understand, but really all I needed to do was have Godzilla fighting, kaiju or whatever, and enjoying himself being a Godzilla boy. And he's barely in the movie. It was more about, like, pseudoscience. It was just, honestly, they should just take Godzilla off the title. A Godzilla movie is Godzilla fighting King Kong. Okay, that's a Godzilla movie. Now putting aside the fact that it had Millie Bobby Brown in it, who I detest, that was a good movie, but that girl cannot act. It's brutal. So, that's about all I got. Godzilla Singular Point can go to hell.
I think you talked more about the movie instead of the anime.
Well, there it is.
Same points.
He's like, it's all bad.
I
It's all
hated
fucking
Millie
bad.
Bobby Brown in the anime.
You don't like eating dog shit? There you go.
And we can add the Caroline drop of her saying, "Oh, he's such a pile of shit" to that drop now.
Oh my God!
Wait, when did I say that?
I'll have to
When
find
we were
that.
talking about, like, worst boys or something.
Listen,
Okay.
somebody
Oh,
from
yeah, okay.
You're
somebody
like,
from
"He's such a
Discord,
pile of-"
find that clip.
It's so funny.
Listen, Mitsuki's busy. Somebody from Discord, you listen to this. Find that clip, cut it out, send it to me. I'll use it. Thank you. All right, Mason.
Biggest disappointment this year. There was a lot of contenders. I was thinking of a lot of the sequels that didn't live up to what I was hoping to. From your Scissor 7 not being as good, from the Promised Neverland not being as good. I wasn't really feeling the new Lupin season. Like, all those were disappointments. But I think the one that really excelled in making me just aghast at what I was watching was Vlad Love. This was a ONA that was original, and it was done by the legend, the GOAT, Mamoru Oshii, one of the best directors of all time. This is a brand new creation. It came out, it was firing out of the gate. It looked sharp, it looked stylish, it had swagger, it had pizzazz, and it just went nowhere. And it had a cool OP and maybe a neat setup of weird vampireness, but it was just a disappointment, the likes of which I haven't seen in a while. And I was just, like, stunned that it looked so good and just felt so bad. And maybe it was just I don't get the Japanese humor. Maybe Mamoru Oshii was just throwing in so many references that were going over my head. But, man, Vlad Love every episode I'm like, what am I watching? Why am I still watching it? I feel like there's potential here, but it never had anything to show for it. So that was not a good show.
I never watched this at all.
Yeah,
So.
it was. I think it's on Crunchyroll. I think that's where I watched it. Yeah, it just the main character is called Mitsugu, which is close to Mitsugi.
Oh my
so
God.
you got that going for you.
Yeah.
But it just, you would not like it. I guarantee you.
Mitsugi is also dangerously close to Mizugi, which means underpants. So just so you know.
Oh.
Dangerously close.
Dangerous.
It's part of the uniform.
It has those two little hashes on the hiragana. Without that,
There you go. What is it? Dakuten?
I don't know what those
There
are
you
called.
go. There's your free Japanese lesson of the day.
There you go. Learn your hiragana. Caroline, what
All
do you
right,
got
so my biggest disappointment, I mean, other than the obvious, The Promised Neverland season 2, I feel like I was surprised that none of you actually put that down because I feel like that was the obvious choice.
It was so obvious that I didn't want to pick it.
Exactly. That's why I didn't pick it either. I mean, I have it listed in honor, but it's not my actual choice. My choice would be the Aquatope on White Sand because I thought it was going to be great. Because the first couple episodes were really nice. The animation was nice. I was hoping that'd be a really good slice of life with some focuses on Okinawan spirits and all that stuff, and then they never focused on it. So yeah, that was a big disappointment, especially when I realized that we were just slogging through nothing for 24 episodes. So yeah, not great.
Yeah, that was agreed. Agreed.
I still don't know what the hell an aquatrope is, but that
It's
fucking
aquatope,
what?
and we don't know.
It's not even a word.
It's a made-up name that they
It's a
gave
made-up
it for
word.
a
It's not even a
project that-
word.
Okay, yeah, exactly. And they made up that name and it's a project that they were working on within the show, but the whole show was not about that project. That project came up in like the last few episodes,
Yeah.
and it made no influence on the story as a whole. So I'm like wondering, what was the point?
Take your take your aquatope, stick it in your Wordle, and smoke it. That's what I'm saying. All right.
There you go.
Terrible. All right, this next one is easy. Pervious character. It's a piece of cake. Very predictable. It's Rudius Gray Rat. Yeah, he's. I mean, this guy. And he's like fantasized about his like underage cousin or something early on in that show. It's pretty gross, you know.
He
and-
fantasizes about everybody underage in that show, not just his cousin.
It wouldn't be so bad if he was reborn without his prior like awareness, but he's mentally a, like a 40-year-old. And listen, I'm not a legal person for much, but like I'm pretty sure the reason why people can't have consensual sex till they're 18, it's not because of their physical development. It's definitely about their mental development. So it's just wrong. It's so wrong.
Yeah.
Every time he's like fantasizing about anybody in that show, pretty much, it's just too much.
Yeah. Not a good look.
And of course,
Nya 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 nya.
you can't forget that.
Please stop.
Yeah.
Just stop.
Have my kittens, Rudius.
Stop.
Oh my
We've already said that too many times.
I mean, cats do have barbed penises. You don't want to get into that, but it's true. They do.
Can we move on?
Caroline's face.
I
It's-
thought the
listen.
pervious.
Listen, it's all worth it to see Caroline's facial expressions. People, you got to get on Twitch because she
so
makes
unfair.
she makes the
You're
best
being
faces.
So mean.
It's not mean. It's hilarious.
It is mean.
Fucking
You're doing it because it makes me uncomfortable.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I am the worst boy.
You, at least the pervious.
Well,
You're the pervious on the podcast. That's it.
all right, Mason, who do you got here?
Congrats. Here's your Razzie.
Subscribe.
At least I'm the best at something.
If you're
You
not
are the
pervy,
baldest.
Well, that's for fucking sure. I shaved my head today too. I'm bald as shit. I don't have a single hair.
Wait, this is a voluntary baldness?
Well, I would look horrible, and Pancake would not
Yeah,
tolerate
you got to
it.
commit to it. Yeah.
Yeah, Pancake would not tolerate it. Anyway, here you got Mason.
Obviously Rudy is the obvious choice,
Yeah.
but I
Sweep
figured that's
it.
what people went with.
Oh.
So I picked
Oh.
Adam from
It's a good
Skate
one.
the Infinity. He's
God, I
a very
hated him.
handsy guy. He comes in, you think it's just a hug, and then it gets a little more of that hip action involved, and you're like, wow, he's also gonna smack me in the face. And I don't know if this is a euphemism for something or what, but it's not a good look. And
He's
I'd
terrible.
probably be more scared of Adam in a dark alley than Rudy. I think
I feel
either
like you
way, you're
can
in.
kick Rudy away. Adam will attack you.
Yeah, he'll knock half my teeth out with a skateboard. So
Yeah.
yeah, Adam, and then he's like got the weird sinister, like his alter ego isn't any better. So yeah, Adam is pretty pervy.
And I also thought. Sorry, go ahead.
He's just too much, honestly. He's just he honestly could have gotten worst boy for me because he's just
He wasn't needed in that show.
he's just so over the top and just unnecessary. And he just dominates.
And he's also not a boy.
He's not a boy.
He's a man. Well,
Whatever.
He's like
a man.
too old to
a
be
boy, a
worst
man.
boy.
Whatever. He just dominates that anime. It becomes all about him. and he's so fucking annoying. I can't handle him.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like him either.
He's so he's so extra. It's so terrible.
And that's why he is also my nomination
No.
for pervious character. Of course, other than Rudy, I have that mentioned. And also, I was thinking about yeah, way. I was also thinking about the prince in Jobless Reincarnation, because he's kind of up there
That's
with
a good
Rudy,
pick.
especially
That's a
since
good
Oh yeah.
he is a little bit more violent with his perviness. So yeah, I was considering him too, but well, since Mason has nominated Adam, I'll make that my new nomination, is the prince from Reincarnation.
That's a great
Yeah.
pick, and he was just, God, what a throwaway episode.
Yeah, it's a mix of like
Not
him being
good.
pervy, but also using his like, I don't know, whatever the word is to describe imperial rule to like force people into like a whole like holding people hostage so that he can
Yeah.
continue to be pervy was like extra worst boy territory. So good good selections. I like how we have two different characters from the same show.
I mean, I feel like it would be a shame if not. I'm just trying to figure out what his name was.
I don't know.
But
I have no idea.
go on.
F?
All right, blandest
Oh,
protagonist, pretty easy, not that interesting. Even though I thought the anime was not that terrible. The Kazuya Soma from Realist Hero, he was really
Mhm.
bland. I don't know. He's so flat affect, monotone, no excitement, terrible. Not a good character. He could have been anybody.
Super bland.
Yeah, he's just like, white unbuttered bread.
He's not even buttered. He's just bread.
Unbuttered for sure. He's not even
Yeah.
sourdough. He's just like straight white, like Wonder
Go
Bread.
to the grocery store. Can I have my bread sans butter, please? Yes, thank you.
Sourdough is great though. It's a strong move.
It is. Also, for those yelling into your earphones right now, Pax is the name from
Yes, I just
Jobless
figured it out.
Reincarnation. Yeah, he's pretty bad.
Jeez.
I had trouble with blandest protagonist. There's so many good ones, so I went with a meme pick because that's
Oh,
all I'm good for. I went with the ASMR microphone.
what?
Can I make your ears happy in 180 seconds?
The
This
hell is
is
that?
the 3-minute
I was
long
going to
show
review it.
where girls talk into a microphone like ASMR style.
Is that a thing?
And yeah, it is a
I
thing.
had it as
And
my
it's not
backup
good.
one.
See you guys later. I gotta go shave my cat. Bye.
It is A, not a good show. B, not even good ASMR. But the only like consistent character from episode to episode is what I perceive to be the same microphone, which is like one of those like head ones. So like each ear is like its own things for the binaural like experience. So yeah, it's literally just a microphone that sits there and gets rubbed all over girls. So
Ooh.
yeah, it's
Is it Howard Stern? Like stick him on the giant
He's
speaker and he hums
our
into it.
hero. Something
Do you
like
think
that.
some people are trying to insert themselves as the ASMR
Yeah.
microphone in the anime?
Yeah.
So
Oh,
like,
they're
they're
trying to
saying, like, I
insert
want to be
themselves.
that microphone so bad.
Caroline.
Yeah, exactly.
Caroline,
It does anything. Very inoffensive, and there you go.
For someone who doesn't like when I say dirty things, you definitely just said people who. like
Okay,
to-
I'm sorry. I have
Okay.
a hard time with
Okay.
the innuendos, and I realize how awful they sound, but believe me, they are not on purpose. Okay, so my nomination for blandest protagonist, obviously, the first thing I thought of was Kazuya from Realist Hero, and in fact, that was going to be my nomination. It was a toss-up, but I actually decided against that one and went with a different bland protagonist, Kyoya from Remake Our Life. Because honestly,
Ugh.
I feel like
God.
he was also very bland. It's hard to say exactly who was the blandest, but when I thought about it, I was leaning more towards Kyoya.
He was also horrible.
Maybe it's because he made himself so damn bland that he really just tried to pick up. He made himself so bland that he started picking up all the girls in that show, and I I really can't even say why he was so bland because that's how bland he was.
Oh my god.
That's it.
Yeah, that whole anime was pretty rough.
Mm-hmm.
All right, in the interest of time, I'm gonna speed this up. We're gonna do Mitsugi. Which one is most likely to make Mitsugi fall asleep? I have a drop. Yeah, they got a drop here. Someone's snoring. This soundboard is so big. I can't ever find anything on it. I might have taken it out. Anyway, my choice was, sorry, Mason, Sunny Boy.
Oh, that's okay.
Too deep, too brainy for me. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this is me. This is me 3 episodes into Sunny Boy. I used all of my mental energy trying to figure out what the hell was going on, and I just wiped me out. I was a tuckered boy the whole time.
I love how this category is not necessarily about what would make us fall asleep, but specifically Mitsugi.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and sorry, go ahead.
Do you fall asleep watching anime 5 nights a week?
Oh, no, not necessarily. I usually try to watch my anime during the day these days, but it did make an influence on which show I picked because there is one show, or quite a few shows I can pick that would make me fall asleep in the right situation, but they would not be the shows you would fall asleep to.
Okay,
Well,
all right.
Make
go
sure to
for
keep
it.
on to-
Let's hear it,
Oh,
Let's hear
I'll
it.
go then. Okay, so in terms of what would make me fall asleep, probably Realist Hero or Remake Our Life or something like that. What would make Mitsuki fall asleep, though, is not either of those. It would be the Aquatope on White Sand.
Oh my god, you're absolutely
you probably
right.
definitely fell asleep during that show.
Yep, I did. That show lost me within minutes. Within minutes, I knew I was screwed. I was
Yeah.
like, I am in so much trouble.
I remember that you were like, you just could not get through that without falling asleep. I have a feeling that takt.op.Destiny was also one of those.
Takt.op.Destiny, I binged it yesterday and I didn't fall asleep. But
Oh, okay.
I just say that it does take dedication to do an anime podcast that is weekly because when you're 5 minutes into a 26 episode show and you already know you're in trouble, it's a long way down from there. Mason?
Yeah. I picked one that you haven't seen, but you'd seen initially, and I know you'd fall asleep to it, which is Modao Zushi, the final season, season 3. Longer than typical
Oh my god.
episode lengths. This is the Chinese ONA where all the people kind of look the same, and you would just be like, I'm not getting the names, I'm not getting the faces. What's all this nonsense they're talking about? I'm calling this one a day. Throw in the towel and get some Z's. So definitely not your kind of show.
I'm pretty sure I watched the first 2 seasons of that, and that was pretty rough. That's like
Yeah.
it's a manhwa, right?
Dongwa. So
Dongwa.
it's like the cultivators
God's
where
sake.
they have the long flowy robes
Yeah,
with
yeah.
long flowy hair, and they like do the thing, and you're like, yep, I'm out on this one.
All right. Last category,
And
real quick.
finally,
Most likely to make you give up on anime forever. So you're gonna be surprised of my choice here, but my choice was Skate the Infinity. That anime, it could have been so good. It had everything. It was just such a brutal disappointment. I would say takt.op.Destiny's up there too, because that anime, such a wasted potential. But Skate the Infinity, come on, it was like it was Studio Bones. It had all the style. It had some good characters. It was fucking racing basically, and then it just turned into absolute nonsense. And I was like, given all of the perfect just collection of puzzle pieces to make a great show, you still fell on your face and became this like just fucking disaster by the end of it that just jumped the shark so many times that it just maybe put my head in my hands basically. So that's about all I got for that.
for my worst, or not the worst show, but the show that could make me give up on anime. I thought about all the isekais. I thought about all the super long shows that did nothing. I've got to go with Tokyo Revengers.
Why though?
Which
I watched
is-
about half of this and I didn't think it was that terrible.
It's not the worst show of the year by far. It's got some things going for it, but it was such a terrible adaptation of the source material, and the fact that so many people lost their mind with how good they thought it was, realized and really nailed down to me how dumb the anime fan base is and how doomed we all are.
Oh,
if this
no,
is what
Mason.
people are getting at.
That's some
And
fire.
it made me sad. It made me sad that this show was getting success, and it doesn't deserve it. It looks bad. The characters stink. The writing is awful. It's so contrived. Did you know that his girlfriend died? Oh my goodness, that's the only thing I remember about this show. The weird editing about having to remove stuff for the, the symbolism that on their jackets that had to get removed. It was all just, I didn't like any of the discourse surrounding the show, and the fact that it was 24 episodes and did almost nothing with it was like, this would have been good in almost any other medium, but in anime it didn't work, and it made me sad.
Well,
I can't wait for this
I
one.
actually did not think it was all that bad, but I mean, your opinions are valid. I, on the other hand, I was getting kind of close to giving up on anime forever because of surprise,
Oh my
how a realist
gosh.
hero rebuilt the kingdom. It was
I knew
probably
it.
my lowest rated show of last year. For the reason being that I could not find a single entertaining or worthwhile thing about it.
Oh
The
my
characters were crap. The story was boring. The women were disrespected so many ways. Oh my god, I can't even list them all. And I realized that people might get a bit annoyed with how much I hate on it, especially if they like Realist Hero. But honestly, I have tried so many times to think about what one thing was good about it. And I could not come up with a single one.
Not a
I don't know
single
how you
thing.
gave it a 3. I still don't know how you gave it a 3. But Mitsuki. But yeah, it's gotta be one of the least worthwhile things that I could have watched last year. And that is the reason why it almost made me give up on anime forever.
Oh, well,
The end.
I'm really sorry we got to watch that again. Maybe it'll get better.
I will not watch that.
It can only go up from here. You're already in the toilet. You know.
I can already waste another so many hours of my
4
life.
hours
on
of
something.
your life.
It's like the
Yeah,
Russian
4
stock
hours.
market. Go buy Luke oil and drop like 96% last week. It's ridiculous. Oh my god. All right. Well, you know what? So saith the hosts. So saith the razziest of Razzies. You are all condemned to the anime pit of hell. A lot of you, except Rudius Grey Rat. He can stay. We need him. Jobless reincarnation is too good to cast out like that. But all right. Well, we got to get to the news break because we got a lot more in this show to do. So whoever wants to get us out of here, go ahead and.
Yeah, I can
do the
throw
thing.
us to the intro weekly trivia question to keep you occupied during the news break. In Takt.op.Destiny, what instrument did Lenny play before becoming a conductor? We'll let you know in just a bit. Stay tuned, and we'll see you on the other side.
Anime Addicts, it's Mitsuki. I'm here. I'm bringing you your anime news break. Getting us started off with some new anime release news as we do. Jobless Reincarnation is going to be getting a second anime season on Sunday. The 23-episode first season, which was produced by Studio Bind, was split into 2 cores across last year, and now it has been announced that the second season is also going to be coming out. So, as we know, this story adapts the fantasy light novel, which was started on the Shosetsuka ni Naruto website from November of 2012 until April of 2015, and then it began in print and other formats. So, if you are a fan of Jobless Reincarnation, it doesn't seem like there is a release date specifically for the new season, but it is coming, so get excited. Oh, and next up, another somewhat high-profile anime sequel being announced. Classroom of the Elite is going to be getting a second season in July of 2022 and a third season in 2023. They just went ahead and announced both seasons at the same time. The anime will adapt the entirety of the first year arc of the Classroom of the Elite. The chief director is going to be Seiji Kishi, who directed Fate Grand Carnival and has done a lot of other works as well if you follow him. The director will be Yoshihito Nishoji of Jibaku Shonen Hanako-kun. And the Studio Lerche. So if you're a fan of the Classroom of the Elite property, look out for more of this coming out in the next 2 years. So you have a lot to look forward to. Next up in our news, we have the winners of the 16th Seiyu Awards. Best Actor went to Kensho Ono for Bungo Stray Dogs 1, Idolish 7, and other works. Best Actress went to Megumi Ogata for Breath Arts, Evangelion 3.0 plus 1.0, Thrice Upon a Time, and the Jujutsu Kaisen Zero movie. Best Supporting Actor went to Fumiko Tachiki and Yuichi Nakamura. Best Supporting Actress went to Mikako Komatsu and Rie Takahashi. So if you are fans of the Seiyu of the world, go check out the full list because it's very long and there's a lot of different names to be celebrated and recognized here. And lastly, Dr. Stone has ended its 5-year serialization. It ended with the 232nd chapter in the 14th issue of Weekly Shonen Jump this past Monday. So the magazine is going to be publishing a special chapter with the television special that's going to be coming out in 2022. So this has been in Shonen Jump since March of 2017, and they're going to ship the 25th volume on Wednesday. So, and the 26th and final volumes are going to be coming out in July. So Dr. Stone, interesting property. We'll get more of its anime coming out most likely from TMS Entertainment with the 3rd and perhaps even more seasons coming out later on at an unreleased date. This was Mitsuki, and this was your anime news break, and now time to get back to the podcast. So, you're at the grocery store. Options at the sushi counter were a little thin. Spicy tuna rolls will have to do. But you know what else is a little thin? Your patience. You were listening to your favorite podcasts, but now all you're listening to is this little robot lady yap at you.
Place your item in the bagging area.
If only you had the AAA podcast's extra content, you wouldn't have even heard her talking to you over the sound of our Hobby Addicts, our hentai episodes, and our after parties. But now you're about to get arrested for assaulting Wally over here. Goddamn robot bitch. Little Billy's sitting at home about to go hungry while Mommy and Daddy are becoming somebody's new favorite down at the Slammer. Don't let little Billy go hungry. Head over to aapodcast.com/join our Patreon today and support the podcast. Again, that's aapodcast.com/join or Patreon.
Place your item in the bagging area.
Yeah, I'll put you in a bag.
And now, great moments in Anime Addicts Anonymous history.
When I was growing up, I grew up in like West Virginia in the mountains, and we would spend most of our free time hiking and like finding dead deer skeletons and all this crazy shit that like kids do in the woods, right?
Wait, what about the anime cliche of a pile of porn?
Q Kazuo talking about like the porn mags and there's always a sofa in the woods somewhere, and there's always porn magazines under the cushion. It's such like they're like shamefully hiding in the woods, like rubbing one out to on like a bench somewhere in the woods. This is Caroline's fault, Mason. I see you shaking your head no, but
Okay, I just said porn. I did not get graphic with
well,
You knew where Mitz's head is at. You knew he was gonna take this. He's so
very,
loopy. His inhibitions are at an all-time low.
porn magazines only have one use in this world, and it's not like reading material, okay?
This is a very adult episode.
I didn't say that you like, whip your stuff out and start like, going to town on it.
Well, now you are.
I did, but I censored myself, okay? Welcome back to the podcast. All smiles here from the co-host. We like that one.
Oh my god. Sometimes I cannot believe what comes out of this show.
Believe it.
Believe it!
Believe it. All right. So when we left you, we had a trivia question. In takt.op.Destiny, what instrument did Lenny play before becoming a conductor? Lenny.
Ooh, I know.
All right, Caroline.
It's the cello.
Very random. I can see why
Yeah.
they changed it because kind of hard to play a cello in a battlefield. It's like you got to sit on a chair. Your legs are all spread eagle. I hope he doesn't wear those like. He better
Are
not
you
wear
under
those
the
ripped.
impression that they actually played they played instruments while defeating these robots in the show? Was that a story beat that I missed?
Well, one guy has a baton. I don't know. As long as he's not wearing those ripped jean short shorts while he's playing the cello, because I do not want to see that guy's hairy crotch spread open. That is not what I want.
I did not even notice the jean shorts.
It's in the opening. All right. Well, as we do not all that often, we have a Living Big in Japan today. And if you would like to submit a Living Big in Japan, you can do it over at our website, AAApodcast.com. Along the top, there's a mailbag button, and you can write. If you want to hear about Japan from someone who's lived there and been there many times, you can write in. So here we go.
日本のいいとこ見てみよう It's time to live big in Japan.
All right, Babs wrote in, hey AAA, what is dating culture like in Japan? Is it a lot of app-based dates, or do people still meet in real life? How does dating / work balance, how do they balance their work life in their heavily worked culture? Is promiscuity looked down upon or celebrated? Thanks for the great pod. I started listening last year and have listened to over 250 episodes since then. Love you guys. Thank you. So to answer your first question, I had to look this up. I did go on a date when I was in Japan last time, and I used Tinder to do that. It's when you're a foreigner, it's so easy. You know, it's a totally different experience than when you're in the States. You're just like a dime a dozen in the States, but when you're in Japan and you're a foreigner, you're like a golden nugget. It's a totally different experience. But so they do use dating apps. They have Tinder, they have Match. There's an app called Omi, which I've never used before, but it is an app. They also do two things I'd never heard of. This is all research. It's in our show notes if you want to read it. They do konkatsu parties, which are basically parties that are with people that are actively dating and have the goal of getting married. So they take place where men and women who want to get married get together, have a meal, have a conversation. You know, you're there to find a partner, basically. There's also Groupon meetups, which is a more recent thing in Japan. So the Gokon, which is as they call it, is an event where single men and women who are looking to meet someone go out for drinks in a group. So the group setting in Japan is really common. You always hear about that. It's easier for people, I think, to go out on dates in groups in Japan. My experience with Japan classically is that people are a lot more shy in Japan, and having doing a double date or like a 6-person date is a lot easier than somebody who, than going out like one-on-one with somebody. Also in Japan, some notes here real quick. PDA is not a thing. So, and I experienced that continuously in Japan. You'll almost never see someone kissing someone else in public. Even standing close to somebody on the train or holding hands is like kind of risky, socially. So, really there's no PDA. So people tend to value privacy in Japan, and they don't want to make other people uncomfortable. So it's, Japan is very much about like maintaining social harmony. So if you're out in like public on a train or something and you're like kissing somebody or, I don't know, whatever people do, grabbing a butt or holding hands, I don't know, whatever. It just makes other people uncomfortable, and that is something that Japan tries to avoid very much. That is absolutely a goal in Japan, and that's the same reason why you're not noisy on trains in Japan. There'll be like a train with like 150 people on it in one car, and it sounds like what I imagine a New York train sounds like with about 6 people in it, because it's just so everyone's just quiet. The weekend date, there's some more notes here. And then there's an article I posted that has a ton of info. In dates in Japan, they'll do them on the weekends a lot of time because working in Japan is rough. Like, the hours are long. And when you go out on a date, the sort of like all day date is a very popular thing. So, in the States, or wherever you are in the West, it's more common to have like go to dinner maybe. But in Japan, like, you're going to have a date that'll span like the course of an entire day. Maybe you go to like a theme park, you go shopping, fireworks, the dinner, whatever you do. But it's usually for a half or a full day because you just want to get more out of it. And They did, and another interesting thing, because personally, I would never marry someone personally unless I had lived with them first, because it's like buying a car you've never tested. You know, like the semi-cohabitation is becoming quite common in Japan, but generally, it's becoming more common. But prior to like today, it was pretty uncommon for couples to live together before getting married. But nowadays, the sort of like test drive of what it's like to live with the person is sort of becoming more common. So, you know, Japan is modernizing. You know, that's the bottom line. It's modernizing, but with more reserved social type things. So, you know, that's pretty much the bottom line of it. And I don't know, if you go on vacation in Japan, you know, you can download Tinder and work that on your foreign phone, but just don't be an asshole, is what I'll say. You know, it's you know, like I did that, but I was definitely not an asshole. So
Yeah, just because you're a gold nugget there doesn't mean you get to also still be a nugget of shit.
You are a gold nugget, you know. So I was once told that no matter how, like, there's like that, people have heard like the 10-point scale, like, he's an 8 or she's a 7 or whatever. You know, I was always told that no matter what people would say you are in the States, you're like 2 to 3 points higher in Japan just because you're a foreigner. So take that for what you will. And that's Living Big in Japan. If you want to write in and ask a question about Japan, AAApodcast.com. Oh, and I'm still on the break screen on. Thank you.
Yeah, I was waiting
Yeah, I
until
was
you were
about to
done.
say.
You were on your thing. And I was like, as long as you change it
Yeah,
before the mailbag
sorry.
so people can see Caroline's dancing, that's all that matters.
All right. Well, we're going to do the mailbags now, which is, again, AAApodcast.com/mailbag will get you to both of these places where you can submit these. So enjoy the freedom to interact with the show. And now it's time for mailbags.
It's time for an almighty anime mailbag. Anime.
Mailbag.
Oh my goodness, we're back, baby. We didn't do mailbags last week, so we have 2 for you this time. As always, you can head on over to AAApodcast.com and click the thing at the top that says mailbags and submit them, and we will read them no matter what they are. So, in honor of Raggedy Doctor giving us the great Razzies idea this time, I picked one of his that he submitted. As he writes, you will read pretty much anything that is submitted, so I wanted to give this here as a little test. And it literally just says, a rough-coated, dough-faced, thoughtful plowman strode through the streets of Scarborough. After falling into a slough, he coughed and hiccuped, which I think is just supposed to be like a semi-tongue twister, or just showing you all the different ways that the O-U-G-H can be said in different ways. But thank you. What's the next one?
Yes, thank you. Okay. Next one is from the ever-present Yotaru Vegeta, who asks, are there any looks in anime you would totally rock? Are there ones that you love, but aren't brave enough to wear yourselves? And that's a very good question, because I love anime fashion. Because who would not want to wear just a cute schoolgirl uniform with the thigh-high socks? I mean, yeah, they're adorable sometimes. And then you got the kimonos and their and like the summer festival episodes, and you just think it would be so cool to wear one of those. But for me, more specific outfits would probably include anything from Amelia's designs and ReZero, and also in Slime 300, that show, Azusa's outfit with the big ass hat, because both of those are pretty great. The big hat
supremacy. Is there anything that you would want to wear but aren't brave enough to? Or is the big hat one where you'd want to wear but you'd be like, wow, if I had to do anything in that hat, it would be abysmal?
I don't think I would be able to clear a bridge wearing that hat.
I don't think you'd be able to drive a car with that hat.
I don't know. I mean, I feel like I can't really think of anything that would just be specifically uncomfortable to wear that I would actually still want to wear. I don't know. Maybe in terms of cultural appropriation, maybe I would feel very nervous about wearing something like a kimono, because I feel like there are some people who would think, like, as long as you're doing it, you know, respectfully, they wouldn't really care if you're wearing one, but a lot of other people might not feel that way. So Yeah, wearing something like a kimono when you're not Japanese would probably be a little bit difficult.
I guess it more depends if you're in Japan and wearing it.
Yeah.
That'd be cool.
Yeah.
But if you're like running down to the Piggly Wiggly,
Yeah, I'm not
it might
wearing
be a
it
bit of a
on a
pain.
night out. I'm not. Yeah, it'd probably be hard to find a place to wear that.
I get you. I know we've talked about JoJo fashion before, but some of those outfits are pretty cool, especially like the super non-extravagant ones I think I could pull off. As for one that I'm not brave enough to wear, it would be Saitama's Opie shirt. You know, great iconic design,
Yeah.
good vibe. It seems very comfy, but I don't think I could do it. I'm too cowardly.
I feel
He's
like it's
more man
not
than me.
as obviously about boobs as some other things. So I feel like you might be able to get away with it
I
sometimes.
could get away with it. I just would be too scared to.
Ah.
This is a me problem. You know, that's all that's going on. Yeah, so there you go. That's my selection.
I
Unless you got
found
anything?
I found the shirt from Golden Boy on publictee.com. You know, he's got a shirt he wears. It's got like, it's very random. It's got a bunch of squares on it, and they're all pink, and then the middle one is orange, and it's kind of turned sideways. So maybe I should buy a Golden Boy T-shirt. The only problem is that it's a jet black T-shirt, and I don't really wear black, so it's not
It's
really
not your color.
No, it's not really.
Apparently, it's Mason's color. He's wearing a black T-shirt today.
It's actually, quite honestly, a super deep navy. But yeah,
Ah.
I look good in every color. Let's be honest, folks.
I don't know. It's just not something I'd consider when I'm watching anime. It's not like, ooh, the style, you know. But I don't know. Piccolo wears some pretty cool shirts when he's doing his test, when he's doing his getting his driver's license.
So you want to look like Piccolo?
Hell yeah, I want to look like fucking
doesn't?
Piccolo. You kidding me? Playoffs.
Talking about
All right.
playoffs?
Yeah, I got nothing on this. I don't know. So
All right. Well, shall we get to the grand finale, which is our review of takt.op.Destiny?
I gotta give
To Opasu Desutani.
I got to give big props to Pancake. She's down there like carrying up groceries, putting them away, and I'm up here being a lazy boy podcasting.
Hell yeah.
Yeah. So, all right.
Okay, she knows lobsters on the horizon.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
That's hobby addicts bet. So you gotta listen to get that reference.
I just made that reservation, so there will be. Man, that's a restaurant that serves like a lobster tail flight. Like it comes with like 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a flight because they throw it across the restaurant. You gotta pick it out midair.
Catch them in your mouth, like a golden retriever.
Exactly.
All right. Okay, I guess this is me because I tried to dispense with this anime during the review process, but let's see here. Takt.op.Destiny. So Takt.op.Destiny. Where the hell is it on here? I don't even know. Oh, there it is. So I failed this thing a long time ago in episode 601, but then the listeners brought it back. It's a listener choice anime, so you know, we do the things we do for all of you. That's what I'll say. So this is a fall 2021 anime. The synopsis is that in the United States of America, which has been in chaos ever since the emergence of D2s, an invasive species originating from a black meteorite that fell to Earth, a public decree banned citizens from playing any melodies to prevent further casualties caused by the D2's hatred for music, and even now, in 2047, this prohibition is still in effect. Humanity's only form of defense against the D2s are music arts, young women representing pieces of classical music, the conductors, the ones controlling them. By Studio Madhouse and Mappa, and directed by Yuki Ito, who has directed such smash hit successes as Grand Blue Fantasy and Lyrical Nanoha Vivid, which is one of the worst animes I've ever seen. And it's based on mixed media. I'm told this has a video game that you can buy on your cell phone.
Yeah.
It has a mobile game.
All right, and Mason, expectations prior to watching this masterpiece.
It has a silly name, takt.op.Destiny. Like, what's all that about? That's already like making me a little skeptical, but I really didn't have any expectations. I'm not as all in on Mappa as some other people are. So I was just like, it's a show. I remember it was kind
How
of
dare
music
you.
related. And that was about it. Knew nothing going in.
Caroline.
Didn't know much about it going in, although from what I did know about it with the whole music battle against things, probably with some musical references, I was kind of thinking it was going to be similar to Listeners. I mean, I only watched a few episodes of Listeners, so I can't make the exact comparison on how much they are like each other, but that was going to be a bit of my thoughts. I also kind of had a feeling it wasn't going to be great or anything like that.
As for me, I had already watched part of it. I'm a big classical music guy. I play piano. I'm definitely not as good as Tact at piano, but then again, no one is. So I don't know. It's a fighting anime basically. Like that's what I saw from it, and that's exactly what I expected. Was a fighting anime. So and I don't know. That's pretty much what I got. I think so. Mason, would you recommend Tact op.Destiny? What do you think? Spoiler-free recommendation.
I would recommend takt.op.Destiny for just about every awards in the Razzies. And I would not recommend watching the show because, man, it was so drastic and so stiff. This was like the most boring road trip anime I've ever seen. Not once was I ever excited for the next episode. This was a waste of time and really bad. And when it is quite similar to Listeners, early so in how terrible both of them are. It captures nothing about America. It captures nothing about music. It captures nothing about what humans are like. It's just a bad show for a lot of reasons, and it's kind of just an advertisement for a mobile game. So yeah, don't watch this show.
Caroline, how about you? What do you think?
I would not say it's as bad as Mason believes it to be. I mean, I'm not saying it's good. I am saying it's bad. But I found that it wasn't absolutely boring. Like, it wasn't great, but it wasn't like a snooze fest. Some of it has some good aspects, like, I mean, the music on part of the great classical composers that has come before,
half the soundtrack's
not due
Beethoven.
to the anime on any part, just because they threw in some classical music in there. And also, some of the animation is good and some of the fights are good, but overall it's not. I feel like there are better things worth watching, better fighting shows, better music shows. So I can't really say I strongly recommend it.
I also do not recommend this anime. It's very the plotline is very shallow. It doesn't make a lot of sense. The ending doesn't make a lot of sense. It kind of leaves you wondering a lot of things. The classical music is kind of nice, but I feel like it was more prominent at the beginning of the show than it was in the middle or the end. Like Tact plays some piano in the beginning, like first 4 episodes. He's playing piano a lot, so you get to hear some nice piano pieces. But even that, it's like they're really obsessed with Beethoven in this. Like that is pretty much what they play. Beethoven. Like they play the Pathetique Sonata second movement about 5 times in the span of this, and a couple symphonies as well. It's just, I don't know. And personally, I found the animation to be really inconsistent. Like there were some fight scenes that were unbelievably choppy. Like they just looked brutal.
Yeah.
Almost like they just had nothing but keyframes and didn't bother with any in-betweens. And then there were some fight scenes that looked good, and you're like, oh wow, it could have looked like that all along, but then maybe it couldn't, and then maybe that's why they save all their juice for certain spots. And ultimately, I just didn't really find this anime to be really. I find this anime to be an unbelievable waste of potential. I feel like the premise is fine. It's not that original. It reminds me a lot of like Symphogear, honestly. So. To be perfect, but Symphogear I think is way better than this. I think it's not even close actually. So I would also not recommend this. I think that if you want to go listen to an anime with classical music in it, go watch No Dame Cantabile. That would be a much better choice. A totally different genre, but much better choice. All right. Well, now that we've all dispatched with this already, let's have some spoilers.
Spoilers are coming. Oh my god!
And I think
First
we can
show?
talk about this show with like no spoilers.
I mean, I think there's
If
a
nothing
couple
happens,
spoilers,
there's
but-
nothing to spoil.
I mean,
Okay,
for
a
a
little
show
bit
that is
happened.
supposedly all about music and how music is the true lifeblood of humanity and music is this big philosophy and everybody's a musical philosopher. It's really the blah, 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 blah. Like every single episode has some sort of monologue about how music is so, like, it's just... you can literally make a drinking game about how many times they say music in this show. You would be drunk throughout. It is so much musical philosophy that does not mean a single thing in this show.
And the music I didn't even think was that compelling. Like, it was so unmemorable. It was just copy-paste tracks of already done classical stuff.
Yeah.
It wasn't integrated well. They just played it, but I didn't feel like the characters or anything related to them just playing the tracks.
And
Like,
even
all
so,
the right... Go ahead.
they keep on saying that they're fighting with music. They're defeating
they're
these
not.
D2s with the music. And I don't know what they mean by that because there's absolutely no music, anything happening during these fights. It is a girl fighter that is somehow born from the music, as they put it, but there's no meaning to that. It's just a girl with a big weapon and laser beams fighting these
You
D2s.
like this big gun?
It's cute girls, catchphrases, and big ass laser beams fighting these D2s, not music.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I think episode 6 said it best. I think Tact and Destiny were in the car arguing, and other girl was just like, enough of this annoying back and forth. It's going nowhere. And that kind of explained the entire show. Like, I'm going to get into all the little nitpicks later, but this entire, like, I think it fell most because of the writing. The dialogue was written by an alien that saw what humans act like, and they tried to elicit emotions. It's like, the timbre of heart, yeah, that's good, let's put that in there. The light of music, yeah, let's put that in there. Like, when you're sad, it's like oh my goodness, who's the guy who did Facebook? Mark Zuckerberg. It's like the memes where it's like he's pretending to be a human. It's like, yes, when you are sad, I shall present all 32 of my mouth protruding ectothermal organs to elicit feelings of comfort with my fellow flesh sacks. Yes,
What?
yes, this is how people feel things. Like, it felt so contrived and just stiff. It was like a straight man, funny man routine, but everyone was the straight man. No one was funny. The jokes were old, and it was just the same episode after episode after episode. It was such a slog.
Yeah, the dialogue was bad. The writing overall is bad because there is, like, it doesn't, going through the entire show, it made no sense. The villains made no sense. They were cheesy.
Yeah, they were
don't
bad.
know what their motivations were, especially when the villains are, like, they're not even the D2s. The D2s aren't the real villains in this show. It is the leaders of the what's it called? The
Symphonica?
the Symphonica. They're basically like double agents and working against the protagonist in this show, but I don't know why. And even
Real
in the
talk,
end,
the D2s were the best characters.
even in the end, the music arts that were working with the villains, they were saying, we don't need for you to understand us. And I'm like, can you freaking try? Can you explain what you're doing here, please?
I mean, speaking of the bad dialogue, I have a question. Can you guys remember, I can't even talk, remember a single quote from Tact? Can you remember anything that he said besides his signature phrase of "shut up"?
I want to play
like
piano.
the dribble of musical philosophy. That's all I can remember. And
What is something he said that had any meaning?
All the dumbass catchphrases. So many catchphrases in this show that make it so painfully obvious that this is supposed to be a mobile game or some sort of video game.
Oh, it felt like I thought this was going to be like a Final Fantasy 15-esque video game. Like you
Ugh.
could feel that. Like in episode 4, they were
God.
doing like the whole like tutorial stage where Lenny is teaching Tact how to fight. He's like, defeat an enemy using 2 shots. And I could see it in my mind, like the video game, like defeat this enemy with using your gun weapon. Oh, right, you've
Yeah.
done that. Now it's time to use melee combat. And it's the prompt pops up. Use your sword to eliminate the enemies. And it's like, oh, right, you've done the basics. Now you're free for all.
Listen.
Like, I could picture that scene in a video game. But no, even the video game's not even that good. It's just bad. I hate it so
Have you tried
much.
the video game?
No, it's like a mobile game thing. It's like
This-
gotcha.
Yeah.
This anime is not great, but it's not as bad as Final Fantasy 15. It's not that bad.
Listen, I look forward to the Nier Automata anime that will be just as bad as this.
I'm gonna see if I can download this game. I'm gonna look for it right now on my phone. Tact. Yeah.
It's
I
just tacked up, I think.
I just kept waiting for Tact to fucking die, because every single battle he's like near death. It's like, is this guy ever
I
gonna
know.
actually die? Like,
Okay, so they keep on saying that how much of a natural he is and how dangerous he is because he has all these powers and all that. I'm like, he's horrible at this. He does not do anything.
why does he lose
Yeah,
his
I-
arm every time she like powers up?
That's another thing that they just don't feel like explaining,
'Cause-
including the mere existence of music arts, except for that fairy tale rendition that they give you in the very first episode, and the D2s. They don't explain a single thing about them.
Did they explain
Supposed to
why the D2 came from wherever and what they're trying to accomplish?
They
just hate
landed on
music.
Earth from the stones, and the sonic palette of humanity aggravates them. So we don't play music, so the D2s don't get riled up. But nope, we're still gonna have cartoonish villains who use D2s anyway for evil, which is to eliminate the D2s that they're using the D2s for.
Didn't
Makes
they?
no sense.
Didn't they like have music outlawed in listeners also, or something?
I can't remember.
I can't remember. I'm trying
I
to.
don't want to remember.
Okay, so about the whole outlawing music thing, they don't even adhere to that rule because, okay, so in the very first episode, here's a freaking piano in the middle of town, in the middle of like a park or something, just like roped off. It's not even like there's no barrier beyond it. So much so that a little kid can go up to it and start playing the piano, which he almost does. If it's so dangerous, why is it out in the middle of of just so that anybody could play it?
I don't.
It
And
seems that like
dusted
anybody
and
can.
tuned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It
Well,
doesn't make.
that doesn't make
Why?
any sense. But
Symphonica, it's their ulterior motive, maybe.
I could see there being a piano just as like a remembrance of humanity's
Sure.
art, or whatever. But
if it's
they're
so
keeping
dangerous-
if they're keeping it tuned and shit, well, yeah, I guess, yeah. I don't
And
know. Yeah.
It doesn't ever seem like the D2s pop up because music is playing. It just seems like they just pop up. And I realize that's because of that tuning fork or whatever, that it was like a whole conspiracy or whatever. They never show up when they're playing. So I
Oh,
start
here
to
she
wonder.
goes with the tuning fork again. A tuning fork.
and then-
Get the fuck out of here.
New York City
Classic
is like
enemy, the tuning
untouched.
fork, and yeah.
New York City is untouched. But if we have learned anything from the coronavirus, is that people will do whatever they want, no matter what the consequences are. And I'm not saying that's I'm not saying that that I'm making a complaint or anything like that against how people have acted during the coronavirus. I'm just saying people will do whatever the frick they want, no matter what the consequences are. And especially in this kind of show, people are definitely playing music, especially in New York City.
What about that episode where they just helped old people? Wasn't that so much fun? What about that episode where their tire like stopped working or broke or went flat, and they stopped a train, and then all of a sudden the tire was fixed seconds later?
Oh my god. I
What about-
I have no sense
What about all the just deep lore of the American landscape that we got to witness? The vast fields of Los Angeles, the town of Place, like really just memorable moments that really speak to me and are iconic.
how they have a thriving agricultural business in Las Vegas. I don't know. I really don't know how they managed that.
I don't know. The show
No
didn't look
amount
good.
of water in the world is going to change the fact that the desert of Las Vegas is good at cultivating corn.
I mean, it's a new era. You got aliens in the ground. I can believe a cornfield pops up
What,
there.
30, 20 years from now, they'll be able to have a thriving agricultural business in Las Vegas.
Sure.
There's a reason why people only go there for the gambling. That's the only thing that's keeping that place afloat.
I like the D2 designs. I think they looked cool.
Yeah.
I liked when Heaven and Hell like formed Orpheus. I like how their like eyelids, like the irises, like merged together. I thought that was kind of neat. Everything else though was either a design taken from more confident shows. It looked okay for still frames, but 97% of the time this show moved like crud. Like the walk cycles were laughable. Like it was I think people were tricked into thinking it looked good because it had some sharp designs and it had some cool fights at the end. But for the most part, it did not have the budget or the time to really be fully presented correct, and it literally shows.
The fight that had the better animation was the one at the end, I thought.
Oh yeah, definitely.
I think episode 8 also had a good one.
And I was honestly, but like the villain or whatever at the end is like, I'm gonna save the world in like our own way or whatever. And I'm just thinking, what was your own way? Like
I know.
What the fuck are you talking about?
They
Why do
never
I give a
explain
fuck?
it.
Yeah, they don't explain it.
Every villain was bad, not just the final one. Felix, the casino owner, they all had like the most tropey, cartoonishly terrible, not the good complimentary terrible, but like bad terrible villain arcs.
Mm-hmm. You can hardly call them arcs.
Yeah.
And then at the end, like they don't really accomplish anything because they're like, oh, the D2s are spreading all across the eastern seaboard. Like that was the very end. And I'm like, okay, well, I guess we didn't accomplish anything.
Music, which we always had. Yay.
Takt is basically dead, but he wasn't exactly alive in the first place, it didn't seem like. Destiny is gone, and that was not explained. Anna has a new haircut. That's great. But also it's somehow now Destiny, and that like in that end scene, they basically became one with each other. She now has like a zip drive around her neck. I don't know what it is. And
I kiss you, but I don't know why. Okay.
The
cool.
love triangle they just threw in there. There was no leading up to Anna and Takt somehow, like maybe possibly being together. It was only ever Takt and Destiny until Anna kissed him for no reason.
Yeah. This was bad. This was bad.
Destiny was pretty cute.
Yeah, I mean, I'm glad that they actually gave her somewhat of a personality by the end, because she was just another robot girl that liked sweet things. And
is she a robot?
I don't know what she is.
They never explained it. I thought she was a robot based on how she talked, but
it's a music art. That's what she is.
But then they went on that like date thing, and then they were trying to set him up with her or whatever. And I was like, oh, maybe she's not a robot. I don't know.
She is basically using Cosette's meat suit.
Yes.
But also Cosette had that like necklace that glowed, and when she became a music art, and they never explained that either. Even though I feel like that's a very important thing that they need to address. Like, why was she wearing a necklace that glowed that made her become a music art?
So Destiny was in Cosette's body, right?
Yes.
And they wanted to set him up with effectively his sister.
They're not related. Why do you keep on thinking they're related?
Cosette is the younger sister of Anna.
Oh, I don't know why I keep thinking that.
I already told you this on Discord.
I don't know, because the anime's fucking horrible. Like, you expect me to like follow along, pay attention?
I really don't know where you got the impression that they were at all related. I feel like that is at least one thing in the show that they made clear, is that they are like friends.
The only thing that threw me for a loop was in episode 2, we get like a flashback to before everything happened. Episode 1 kind of begins in media res, and then episode 1's a flashback, which is fine. I figured that out. But the opening is like the initial shot of Cosette like running out of the house and like waving goodbye to Anna. Takes place in the exact same time of day and outfits as the beginning of episode 2. So I thought that was part of the show. And like so like I was watching the OP and I'm like, oh, it's just continuing what just happened in the show because they're wearing the same things. But then all of a sudden Tact like transports outside and I was like, wait, what? What did I miss? And I was just like, oh, this is the OP, and it's actually how the OP is. They just decided to segue it terribly.
Mm-hmm.
And is that important at all? No. Did it take 2 seconds to figure out? Yes. But it's just another sign of just poor planning, poor foresight, and poor execution.
Yeah. Another thing I wanted to bring up, I realized that this is not really on the anime, it's more on the game itself, but I don't care. I don't see the point in the conductors. They literally, all they do is stand there and they hold
point.
the baton. And they sometimes move the baton and yell catchphrases like, it's showtime! Unleash your sound!
Big
Blah, blah,
O.
blah, blah, blah. It's like, oh my god. Can you be an anime, or are you going to stay in your video game land? Because it's just so pointless. Like, literally in these gigantic fights.
It's showtime!
In these gigantic fights where Destiny is blasting these D2s with her laser beam, there's Tact just standing there and moving his baton a little bit. And not even that sometimes. He's just standing there writhing in his own pain.
I feel like
giving the music life.
I feel like the most useless character though was the villain guy with like the Raido Kuzunoha wannabe outfit on.
Which one? I don't know what that is. Can
The
you explain more?
he's dressed like a Shinsengumi, or he's got like an old Japanese
Felix?
military outfit.
With the blonde hair?
It
Or
was
no,
like
you're talking about the main guy,
Sagan?
Sagan.
But he just fucking stands there. He see, at least Tact like waves it around, waves his wand around. Just, probably his penis. And really, I don't know. Japanese people like they'll never figure it out. He. Oh, I figured it out all right. And, and the but at least he like gets in there and like tries to. Doesn't he try to like throw a punch or something at somebody?
Yeah, he does a kick.
Yeah.
It doesn't
I'm
work.
like, why don't
Sagan,
you
he
do
just, like-
something? Even
Sagan's
though
like,
you
"Let
are
me just
half dead.
Or if you're talking about Sagan, the main villain at the
Yeah,
end, he's like,
I
oh, let
think
me
so,
just
yeah.
impale myself on these purple crystals real quick. Don't
How does
mind
he
me.
What was the deal with that, and why was he
I
not
have
dead?
no idea.
It
I
was
don't
some
think-
like Watchmen level, like, oh, if I bring all the D2s and I summon them, but all to one area, we can collectively wipe them out at once by sacrificing everybody?
Yeah, so like, excuse me, sir, why don't you just like evacuate everyone and do your plan as you want? What's the point in having all the people there and surprising them with their deaths? I don't get it.
I don't know.
But
I
it really
feel-
is a big old credit to the show that we are trying to talk about the villains and we can literally not differentiate them from each other.
This anime, honestly, I'm looking at some of the reviews on my anime list, and they're not good. But this anime, as I recall, started out with good reviews online. It was like it had like an 8 on here, and that's, I think that's why I was hopeful for it. Like when I failed it, I thought to myself, well, this is actually pretty okay, but there was just too much stuff or whatever. So I failed it. But that was through 3 episodes. And I remember the beginning of the show was pretty good. It had some fight scenes. He was playing some classical music, and that was featured pretty well. It looked good. Destiny she does have good designs, But then clearly the ending is where this show just fucking unravels, and it shows. Like by the end, people were dropping ones on it down here because the ending makes no fucking sense, and the path to get to the ending was about as humdum as whatever, and this is the kind of show where you can skip a full episode and not miss a damn thing, and that's kind of an issue. I mean, I don't know. And what the hell is the deal with Lenny and his short shorts?
Hey, he just likes wearing them. It's hot out there.
He's got his
out in
back dimples
Louisiana.
out.
He's in LA. He's just living his life.
That's wow.
Has a
Humdum. I don't know. I didn't say gum dum, did I? I said humdum. Yeah.
No, you said humdum.
Humdy dumdy dumdy dum. It's whatever. But and I will say that the Destiny's design was very much to my liking. Titan on the other hand, was fucking atrocious. She was.
I saw that hair and I said, Mitsugi's not gonna like this.
She was horrendous. Like everything from her, like her multicolored eyes and weird like face makeup to her hair to her outfit, everything. She was basically as close to a clown running around, dancing around as anything will ever be. And you know what? If I had seen this anime and not looked at the studios, I probably would have said, "Oh, this looks a lot like a Trigger anime," because it really sort of did. Honestly, if they had just had like some little plus, like little crosses like flying around when people and things would explode, I would have said Trigger anime 100%, because that is exactly how I felt about this show, with the way, with like how out there like the designs and some of the fight scenes were.
There were so many designs lifted from Kill la Kill.
Yeah, it looked a lot. Yeah, it resembled all that very much. But man, Titan, I just wanted to. Titan is Symphony number 1 in D major of G Mahler. Okay, who the fuck knew that? I didn't know that.
There's a lot. There's probably like a lot of references that we just did not catch.
Destiny's got to be Beethoven. Yeah, Beethoven's Fifth Symphony. It's so fucking cliche, honestly. Like, let's pick the most cliche symphony that's ever been written in history and use
but
that.
In no way is that represented in her fighting style or the music they played while she was fighting.
If they added more of the particular music that they're supposed to represent into the fights, that would make more sense when they keep on saying that they're fighting with music. But they don't. They just play battle music in the background, basically.
It doesn't even say who the other ones are like modeled after, but I just don't see the point in any of it. But
I mean,
yeah.
I did kind of very, very small part. I like the slight reference when Orpheus, like the combination of heaven and hell's music arts. I believe right after they introduced her, she's like, let's fight and not look back, or something like that, she said. And that's a reference to the mythology of Orpheus when he was going through the underworld, like in Greek mythology, and he looked back to find his wife, and that's the one thing he was told not to do, and that's how, he never saw his wife again, is because he looked back. And yeah. I felt smart knowing that reference, but
nice.
Not enough to make me actually really enjoy myself during the show.
Yeah, so. I mean, ultimately it was a shallow watch, so it went quick. I feel like there was no it was really no thought that had to be put into it, and it was an easy watch. I watched pretty much the whole thing yesterday evening. I was sitting on the couch, and I didn't fall asleep, but I wanted to. But yeah, it's just a big disappointment. I feel like between the studios that were involved, the classical music themes, the snappy character designs, great fight scenes and spots, but I just feel like this anime had a lot more potential than it actually had. And ultimately, it just falls flat. The plot line is flat. The music notes are flat. Everything's flat. It's B flat. Whatever. And
I think it really just boils down to the fact that the writing is absolutely horrible. It makes no sense. Yeah. The villains, the motivations, the world building, the whole ban on music or not, it makes no sense. Like, why are they having a music festival if it's banned? What's the point in doing that if it's supposed to raise your morale? You're literally threatening the lives of people because you want to have a music festival out in the open. Why not headphones? Why don't you just use headphones?
Exactly, yeah.
Have a silent disco.
Sure. You know what? I'm going to give this anime 2 C sharp major scales out of 5.
What would that sound like?
I don't. C sharp major? I don't know. Is it? Go look it up. You mean to bring my keyboard in here? I could plug my keyboard in here and plug it into the mixer. Well, we don't use a mixer.
Isn't there a note that doesn't... There's like a note that doesn't exist, right? Isn't it like F flat or something?
Could have given this 2 brown notes, my dude.
E sharp. I feel like there's a note that doesn't exist, and it would be that. I can't remember.
E sharp is an F. F flat is F flat is
E sharp.
E. No, there isn't.
Yeah, but I feel like in terms of like, I can't remember, but I feel like there's some sort of note that does not exist. But whatever that note is, the
H?
Scale would not.
Classic Q flat.
The H scale. Okay, we'll do that.
There's no H on the keyboard.
So therefore, that would be a great descriptor of this show.
Yeah, this was bad. I've said that word a lot, but I really am having a hard time, like, for all the reasons we just said. And, like, this show failed on every single accord, and all it did is make me want to turn it off. I was gonna give it a 1.5, but I'm feeling a solid 1 strawberry flavored
Ooh.
popcorn out of 5.
Ooh,
It was
I like
so
popcorn, but not strawberry
unredeeming.
flavored.
A couple snappy visuals isn't enough to spend this much time.
You know what's good? It's Parmesan and popcorn. It's pretty good.
Cheesy popcorn's got potential.
Popcorn
Yeah.
has no flavor, so whatever you put on it is what it tastes like. But it is
Let's see,
crunchy.
what
I mean,
was the score you gave?
I gave it a 2.
Okay.
I gave it a
Yeah.
1. I originally had it at a 1.5, so giving it a 1 gives it the same score as listeners, which I'm okay with.
I don't
You know
give
what?
things.
Yeah.
I don't give ones unless I want to kill myself while I'm watching it. So, and that has happened before, but this was not one of those moments.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like I don't need to repeat all the reasons why I wasn't a huge fan of this show. I think one of the shining things about it is the fact that I was not incredibly bored while watching it. I'm not saying
Oh.
I would watch it again.
What were you engaged with?
I don't know.
What
I
were
felt
you in for? What were you like? Yeah, I want to see what happens.
Here we
next.
go.
it wasn't Realist Hero. It wasn't like
Oh, it was way worse.
I can't
this was
say
not as
that.
this is not as good as Realist Hero.
I disagree. At least I was, for whatever reason, I was somewhat just a tiny smidgen interested in this show, even like the tiniest bit.
But why?
I don't know why, Mason. Okay.
It just was hidden in you.
Oh
Okay,
my
that's
gosh.
fine.
Guys,
I
breaking
was kind
news.
of entertained with how freaking crazy it was. What?
Breaking news. Takt.op.Destiny greenlit for season 2.
Are you freaking kidding?
Yeah, for summer
Well,
of
they need to
2022.
explain that
Just kidding.
horrible
Listen,
ending.
I'm just kidding.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just
'Cause that-
kidding. Oh.
But even so,
Tax, the second opus.
Back to Opus to you.
yes.
Go ahead.
Did you score it
absolutely.
yet?
No, I did not, because I keep on getting interrupted by you.
Oh,
Anywho.
man.
It was kind of entertaining on how bad it was, I guess, and as well. And with that, I think I will give it 2 meandering, musical-themed, philosophical monologues out of 5.
Okay, so
All
we're
right.
giving it a 2.
There you go. It's about as good as it possibly could have received.
Yeah.
To be honest.
What a
I mean,
disappointment.
It's a
though. It had
D2.
potential.
It really
D2
did.
out
There
of
we
5.
go.
I'd give Destiny's character design a 4.5 out of 5. I thought she looked fucking great, but it's not enough to save it.
Oh, I also love how in like the last episode they made the point to have a little montage of all the music arts showing up and like these are all the characters you can play with in our mobile game.
Oh, I missed that.
Yeah, because there just happened to be a bunch of random music arts that did not exist in the show previously, and yeah, and there you see them.
Oh my god. Yeah. Well, you're gonna have to play a lot of gotchas to get all the characters.
Yeah. Imagine you, for whatever reason, wanted to play the game, and the first and only character you can possibly get is Titan. Although I don't know if
Fuck
she's an actual
that.
playable character.
I will re-roll all day until I get something better than Titan. Fuck that.
Just throws the phone out the window.
God. All right, that's our show.
Yeah.
We did it. Just
We
barely.
got through it.
Skin of our teeth.
So, shall we talk about where everybody can find us in terms of social media?
We should. Yeah, that would be good.
Well, we are on Twitter at AAA Podcast. You can also follow Mason on Twitter at Macy Pacey with C's. You can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Discord, of course. And if you're interested in joining, we have a very easy way to do it. Just go to AAApodcast.com and click Join Discord, and bada bing, bada boom, you are in our Discord. You
Free,
can join
by
us
the way. It costs nothing. It's
Yeah.
easy peasy.
We have watch parties. We have Anime Club that's going to be this Wednesday, and we'll be talking about the show 91 Days, which is going to be great. I am so excited for it because it was my pick, and I hope that everybody will be able to join us. Of course, we're also on TikTok as well whenever I choose to post things. But overall, thank you so much for joining us today. We will be back next Sunday reviewing something else. We have yet to decide on that, but we will eventually. So I hope you'll join us again there. And thank you for
Bye.
joining us now. And goodbye to you.
Bye, bye, guys.
Bye.
We'll see you
Bye.
next
Bye.
time. Bye.